Hello, Eplan Forum members. This is William Baldessari, and I'm creating this video to help support one of the forum members who's trying to learn Eplan Preplanning Professional on his own, and that's a highly daunting task. So, sir, this is what I have. Maybe it'll help you out, maybe it won't. I started off by creating a new project. This project is with the NFPA inch template. And this template includes page 4. I simply inserted a custom macro of mine. This is Beckhoff EL 1808 for digital inputs PMP. And here on page 5, this is a new page I created, which is page type P&I diagram. I gave it a description P&ID. And when working with pre-planning, it's very important to use the pre-planning navigator, which I will dock. And let's go through the details here. I started off by creating a new structure segment, and this is the structure segment. I gave it a designation plus SO1 and gave it a description skid1. I'm pretending all the process control equipment is on a skid that can be moved with a crane or maybe dragged with a tractor. Then, within the segment structure, I created or added a new planning object. And specifically, I selected a PCT loop function. This is that PCT loop function. We'll look at the properties. It simply has a description defining temperature loops. So the idea is all my temperature loops will be under this PCT loop function. Now, I also understand there are many different workflows with pre-planning or P&IDs in the process control world. This is just an opinion of mine of some examples I've seen in the US with former employers. Then, once we have our new PCT loop, we add a new planning object. And specifically, I added measuring functions. As in this example, we have temperature switches. So let's look at those. There's 2. I have a measurand, which is T for temperature. I have a process function, which is SO. And when those items combine, you have TSO for temperature switch open. This is in compliance with ANSI ISA 5.1 from table A.3.2.2. I also gave it a 3-digit number, 100, and a description, temperature switch open. Additionally, from the PLC tab of this measuring function, I specified a direction for input, data type bool for Boolean, which is compliance with Rockwell Automation Studio 5000 for Allen Bradley processors. I also predefined a symbolic address, which would also be the PLC tag in the processor, as well as the PLC description, which is function text automatic. So there's one. And for the next one, so this one, it's associated, this is associated with this loop. And here is TSO 101 for this measuring function. Very similar setup. T for temperature, SO for switch open. They combine in the full designation. I incremented the number to 101. This is also a temperature switch open. And here we have another PLC input, Boolean type, symbolic address, and function text. So the way I've set this up is that I'll be using these PLC input information for assigning them to the physical PLC card. Then, within the measuring function, I added a new planning object. And here they are. There's 2 of them. The reason for the planning object is because I have detailed schematic loop diagrams, and therefore I specified the product aspect. I also assigned a part to this object, which has the following templates. with pre-planning, we can also have piping specific information. My knowledge and experience is mainly with electrical instrumentation and controls. So an idea is maybe you can import a graphic, DXF, DWG, an image, maybe it's the actual machine. And then if you're purely electrical engineering, you'll detail all the instruments. And that is the approach I'm taking here. So what's really awesome about pre-planning is that it's part of the Eplan platform and is synchronized with the electrical schematics. I believe most people utilizing an intelligent tool for process and instrumentation diagrams are probably using SmartPlant P&ID. And SmartPlant P&ID is a standalone tool that is not synchronized with the electrical schematics, loop diagrams, things of that nature. But Eplan Preplanning is, and this is Preplanning Professional. Also, you need to make sure you have Preplanning Professional and not Preplanning P&ID to link the P&ID objects to the schematic objects. So here on this page 4, I inserted one of my custom Beckhoff PLC macros, EL1808 PMP digital inputs, and I went ahead and assigned the structure box here so that it matches the structure segment from the P&ID. So an example workflow, and again, there's many different ways to do this. I'm going to select this input and assign it to this digital input 1. And as soon as I assign it, we get the function text and the symbolic address, which was populated in pre-planning. Let's also assign this here. Now, you're not going to find an unassign, but split is basically that function. Split removes the linking between pre-planning and P8. So now that we have some descriptions with tags, which I would expect these tags would match in the PLC environment, as they're also defined in the pre-planning, let's insert some schematics. And for that, I'm going to use the planning object. Quick little drag and drop. Snap this to the first input. Drag and drop the second planning object. Snap it to this input. These are macros. They are displaying that product aspect, which is now the display device tag. I've also created some cross-references here, so both in the Eplan world as well as the intelligent PDFs that Eplan creates, we now have cross-references from electrical schematics directly to the P&ID. And that's a little introduction of what pre-planning is and how you might use it. And for you, sir, it's best to understand your workflow, but hopefully some of these tips in this video might help you out. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.